You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Welcome, college football fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our Week 3 college football previews and predictions show with Eric and Ryan Robinson, only they are not here today. Neither one joined me tonight. I said 2 weeks ago, the good thing about having twins is that if one of them can't do it, the other one can. Well, this week, neither one of them could, but the good thing about having a great group of contributors, IU Guy Grant Shouse said he'd love to do it. So here he is to make his college football picks this week. And Grant, of course, is also part of the media picks competition, so he'll fit right in.
Yeah, I've been circling this Saturday on my calendar here for the last few weeks because my team Indiana plays on Friday. And so that means Saturday I will not be watching them because they will have already played and hopefully will have already won. And I get to sit back and just enjoy college football and, for all it is. And what a great weekend to do that because, man, look at these unbelievable matchups that we have that are going to be littered all throughout that Saturday slate. It's going to be amazing.
Texas A&M, Notre Dame, the one you're most interested in, or is there another one?
Yeah, that one definitely catches my eye because a primetime game up there at Notre Dame. The one game I'll be watching, I know for sure, on Saturday is USC at Purdue. Because as an Indiana fan, well, Greg, I'm going to tell you why here. As an Indiana fan, you hate Purdue. And there's the thing that we do in sports, and people probably do it without even realizing this is what it's called. But when you watch a team and you just hope and pray that they lose, it's called hate watching.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm
I
a
will
big
be hate
watcher,
Purdue.
Grant.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am a big, but I will say this. I've never hate watched IU except for when they played Purdue.
I understand.
But Kentucky, man, I am the biggest Kentucky hate watcher in history.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. I hate Kentucky. I was subbing in a class the other day. Kid asked me, he goes, "Who's your favorite team?" I said, IU. And he kind of gave me this look, and I said, "So who's your team?" Purdue. He goes, "No, Kentucky." Sent him straight to the office. He did not come back.
Kids in Southern Indiana, at least they have an excuse that they get Kentucky media. It's still not a very good excuse. You live in Indiana, don't be a Kentucky fan, but at least there's some excuse. What's the excuse in Converse?
Great question. I don't know. I had a buddy growing up who was a Kentucky fan, but he was a casual Kentucky fan, so he wasn't one of those that was all in your face about it.
Let me ask you a question. Who's worse, Kentucky fans or Ohio State fans?
Oh, man. Oh. I may go with Ohio State. I hate Ohio State football. Absolutely hate. Yeah, actually, I just remembered the stuff with the Michigan game last year. You don't want that that flag planted on your field. Win the game. Win the freaking game then. Sorry. Yep. That was the thing that sent me over the top with the Ohio State people is the flag planting BS. So I'd say Ohio State fans are just like a tad worse than Kentucky, but I'd rather football. I'd rather see Kentucky win. Basketball, I'll take Ohio State over Kentucky. So
to me, like Kentucky's 3 levels below all the rest, but Ohio State's pretty bad.
I hate Ohio State. Absolutely hate him.
Here's how much I hate Ohio State, Grant. When I was a kid, they made me like Michigan. I was always a Purdue fan, but Purdue was always so bad that I kind of had a second Big Ten team, and it was Michigan. It was because I hated Ohio State so much.
I don't blame you. Michigan's one of my, I wouldn't say favorite, like I'm a fan, but they're one of the more, like if they were playing in a big game, like when they play Ohio State, I always root for Michigan. Always.
Man, those uniforms, that school song, Michigan's pretty cool despite being a horrible state. Let's make some picks. There are 13 games. There's 12 games and then always a bonus Illinois State game for reasons everybody who listens to the podcast knows, and we'll mention it when we get there. Each game is worth 10 points. The favored team will be worth fewer points in our picks competition, and Grant is picking against the media today. That's usually Eric and Ryan's job, and they still made their picks. And there are experts for a reason, Grant. In our current standings, let me do that again. In week 2, Ryan Robinson took the most points with 30. He was 3 points better than Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post. Grant, you got 20 points. I came in dead last with 14. I was in third place last week. In the current overall standings, Eric Robinson is in the lead with 64 points. Ryan Robinson is in second place with 60, Grant.
Wow. That's pretty tight there down the stretch.
That's pretty tough to have the two twins be 1-2. Of course, they do study this stuff.
True.
Tied for third place with 56 points is Cody Emerson of the Greencastle Banner Graphic, Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star Press, and Will Rutherford of the Strictly Biased podcast. By the way, that just came out earlier this morning. Jeremy Giggy of White River Communications has 53 points. Tied with 51 is Greg and Ohio State fan Jay Stevens, who's really going to dislike me after this podcast. They're tied with 51 points. Grant Shouse has 48, the IU guy, and from the Action Sports Network. Daniel Bragg of Bragg Sports Media has 48. Kevin Helfrich, Grant's partner a lot of times on his high school broadcast, has 47. Kevin's made a big move in the high school picks competition.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
He keeps telling me, he goes, I'm hot on your tail.
That's right.
And
He
was
not very good early on, but he has been good lately. Sam Frick of A&EC Sports from Fort Wayne has 46. Mike Rich, our Pacers guy, also 46. Zach Carter of Key On Sports has 45. Elijah Poe of the Ball State Daily News and our IndyCar guy, 44. And bringing up the rear is Michelle Garman of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader with 43. Na 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 na. That's from last night, Michelle. She bragged that she's ahead of me in the NFL and our high school picks.
Ooh.
So that's why I just nan-and-nan-ed her.
Bringing up the rear.
I love the rivalry.
Let's make these picks, man.
Let's make the picks, Grant.
Do it.
We're going to start with our 4 local teams. That, of course, is IU, Purdue, Ball State, and Notre Dame. It usually goes in that order, but this week Notre Dame has a big one. So we're going to start there. Texas A&M is at Notre Dame. Notre Dame, of course, is 0-1, but they are a 6.5-point favorite in this one at home. 7:30 on NBC. Grant, Texas A&M is worth 7 points. Notre Dame is worth 3. Aggies are Irish.
I'm going to take the Irish. I think they're chomping at the bit to get back out there on the field. They haven't played in almost 2 weeks, and you're finally at home, juiced up crowd. They're going to be ready to go. I think they're going to bounce back. I'll take Notre Dame.
I will take Notre Dame as well, Grant. USC is at unbeaten Purdue. USC is also unbeaten and has played an even worse schedule than Purdue, and they're averaging 70 points a game, but who knows if they're any good with that schedule. USC, Grant, I have worth 2 points. Purdue worth 8. Going to take the Boilermakers in the upset?
I'm going to stick with USC on this one. Purdue did not play, I think, as well as they probably should have or could have against Southern Illinois.
They did not.
That would be a concern.
After the first quarter was complete domination.
I'll take USC I'll take them by 21. I'll take them as a 3-touchdown favorite. But I think Purdue will be more competitive in this kind of game than they will have been in years past.
Purdue's a 20.5-point underdog, and I think they will cover. But no way I'm taking Purdue in this one. Indiana State is at IU, and this is one of those games where taking the favorite is only worth 1 point. The Hoosiers worth 1. Indiana State worth 9. Hey, 9 times the points. Grant, is it worth taking?
What do you think?
I don't think there's any chance you're taking Indiana State.
I don't think so either.
I didn't either.
I'll stay with the Bisons.
The Bisons, love it. We're both going with IU in that one. And New Hampshire is at Ball State. Grant?
I'm going to take the Cardinals, dude. There's nothing like Muncie on a game day.
Oh,
Taking the
love it.
Cards.
I wish they were a little better. I can't see a scenario where New Hampshire won this game, but I too am taking Ball State. By the way, Ball State is worth 3 points, New Hampshire worth 7. Georgia is currently favored by 3.5 points on the road. I gave Georgia 3 points, Tennessee 7. Does that make you take the Volunteers?
I'm going to take the Dogs here to beat Tennessee. That'll be that's a classic SEC game right there. I mean, that's the matchup that all the country singers write about. That's the Megan Maroney Bowl right there. And Greg, you probably don't even know who that is, do you?
I don't.
Dude, look her up. She's got some good songs. Her one song that launched her into fame is called Tennessee Orange, and it talks about her as a Georgia fan that fell in love with a Tennessee fan at the Georgia Tennessee game. So in the Megan Maroney Bowl, I'm gonna take the Georgia Bulldogs.
I like that. The Megan Maroney Bowl. I don't know who she is, but I like her.
Oh, look her up. You will not be disappointed. She also makes great music.
Wisconsin is at Alabama, the game that leads into Georgia, Tennessee, and this one isn't expected to be nearly as close. According to Vegas, Alabama is a 21-point favorite. According to Greg, Wisconsin's worth 8 points. Alabama's worth 2. Does that make it worth taking the Badgers?
Not Alabama. Wisconsin is just not very good in my opinion. Alabama's the favorite, but that is that could be a slugfest. That could be a battle of two teams that have two coaches that are probably on the hot seat or could be on the hot seat eventually. And it's not as an intriguing matchup as it would have been 2, 3, 4 years ago. So, but with that being said, I'll stay with Roll Tide.
Yeah, this Wisconsin team's not very good. I'm not sure Alabama's that good, but I'm still going to stick with Alabama. Clemson at Georgia Tech. According to Vegas, Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite. The game is at noon, and I have Clemson worth 3 points, Georgia Tech worth 7. You like the Yellow Jackets in the upset, Grant?
Honestly, I do here. I'm going to take Georgia Tech. Clemson has not been playing well. I would not be surprised if Georgia Tech doesn't sneak one out here. Georgia Tech is a kind of up and coming program that has some big upside to them. I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Also in the ACC, South Florida is at Miami. South Florida's coming off a big win, Grant, but can they do it again is the question. I have the Bulls worth 8 points. I have Miami worth 2. Vegas says it's a 17-point spread. The game is at Hard Rock Cafe in Miami and starts at 4:30. Grant, Bulls or Hurricanes?
Greg, it's one of those things where South Florida's kind of the darling of college football right now with beating Boise State to open the year and then beat Florida last week. And I'm not saying the South Florida team doesn't have the capability of being a really good team at the end of the year. But I just think kind of I think Cinderella maybe loses the slipper here this weekend. And I'm going to take Miami, but South Florida is going to come out ready to play. I like that team. I like their coach. I think they're going to be really well prepared, but no question, taking Miami. I like their quarterback, Carson Beck, too much. The way he sits in the pocket, he can scramble out of the pocket. He is a hell of a quarterback. I'll take the Canes.
Yeah, easy pick for me. As Eric and Ryan said last week, they think this Miami team is really darn good, and I'm going to go with that until proven otherwise. In the Big Ten, Minnesota takes the trip out west to Cal, and if you stay up late, Grant, since you're going to be watching football all day, you might be able to catch the Gophers and the Bears. That game is at 10:30 at Cal Memorial Stadium. According to the books, Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite. I give 6 points to Minnesota, 4 points to Cal. Who you got, Gophers or Bears?
It's interesting, and we talk about how travel, I think, can affect a lot of teams, especially going out to California, but I don't think it's going to affect Minnesota here. I'll take the Gophers to beat Cal on the road, close game down the stretch. I think Minnesota rows the boat on Saturday night.
I don't know if it's going to affect them or not, but Minnesota, for me, hard to take seriously, and I'm going to go with Cal. Once again, joined by Grant Shouse, our IU guy, and of the Action Sports Network to make some college football picks this week with Eric and Ryan out. And we have 3 SEC games coming up, and big weekend in the SEC, Grant.
Oh, yeah.
First
Huge
one,
weekend. Their biggest weekend for arguably the entire year. What am I talking about? Every weekend's a big weekend of games, but this is the really, I think, first big weekend of SEC play. It opens up the conference slate.
Florida is at LSU. As you mentioned, Florida coming off the loss to South Florida. LSU, big win over Clemson to start their season. The game is at 7:30 on ABC, and the experts have LSU by 7.5 points. I have Florida worth 8, LSU worth 2. Worth taking the Gators, Grant?
I'll take LSU, Greg. I don't think it's tempting enough to want to take Florida there. Florida's just not good. Let's face it. They lose to
LSU
South Florida.
is.
That's literally what the difference is here. It's that LSU is good and Florida is not. So I have a hard time wanting to take Florida here. So I'll stick with Baton Rouge and go Tigers.
At 7 o'clock on Saturday, it'll be Arkansas at Ole Miss, 2 teams that I typically think of as about the same level in the SEC. We're about to find out. Mississippi enters the game as a 7-point favorite. I have Arkansas worth 7, Ole Miss worth 3. Will you take the Razorbacks on the road, Grant?
They play kind of middle of the pack to kind of the, maybe A tier, B tier kind of teams in the SEC. They're always capable and maybe pull off an upset every year, maybe once or twice. I'm still going to take the Rebels here. I love Lane Kiffin. I know you, Greg, probably don't like him.
I've never once picked Ole Miss on this podcast.
Why is that?
They're the Illinois of the SEC to me. I just can't take them seriously.
Okay.
They never win big games.
I'm going to take them to win this big game on Saturday over Arkansas. Arkansas just doesn't have the manpower, and their coach, Sam Pittman, is probably on his way out. It's kind of a rough time down there in Fayetteville, so I'll take the running Rebels to beat Arkansas.
Give me Arkansas for this game, and give me Arkansas for a pretty big year, Grant. I think they're going to win 7 to 8 games, and they're going to be a team that wins some games that you don't expect this year. Last game in the SEC before we get to the big one in the FCS, Grant. 7:45 on Saturday. It'll be Vanderbilt at number 11 South Carolina. In Vegas, the Gamecocks are favored by 3.5 points. Who are you taking?
Man, tough one because I think it's actually going to be a closer game than maybe what it says on paper to begin with. Here's my one bold one. I'm going to take Vanderbilt, upset South Carolina.
I think that's a pretty good pick. I didn't have the guts because I actually think South Carolina is going to win the game. But with twice as many points on the line, I almost went Vanderbilt and didn't.
It's kind of, I guess, my hot take of this whole thing. I feel like I've picked pretty good so far. But Vanderbilt's probably my one where I'm like, okay.
I like it. I like that you had the guts. I didn't. But
okay.
In the end, I expect to get the points. As we do every week, we finish with Winkers right and the Illinois State Redbirds this week on the road at Tony Romo's alma mater, Eastern Illinois. Both teams are 1-1. Of course, Illinois State's a lost game to Oklahoma. Pretty understandable. 3 o'clock on Saturday, Illinois State. Of course, we don't have official lines for FCS. Illinois State should be a heavy favorite. That's why I have Illinois State worth 2, Eastern Illinois worth 8, and if you pick Eastern Illinois, you're a jerk.
I kind of want to just pick Eastern Illinois to piss you off, Greg, but I'll trust you. I'll stay with the Redbirds on Saturday. Go Illinois State.
And Let's go Hoosiers, Boilermakers, Cardinals, Irish, and Redbirds are 5 teams of the Central Indiana Sports Report. Because if you're related to me, you're just automatically in the coverage area. Grant, thanks so much for filling in. Always appreciate it. Always love talking sports with you, my man.
Oh, I love it, Greg. Doesn't get old, and I hope we can keep doing this for a long time because the kind of coverage we bring is just far superior to anything else in the area.
Grant is absolutely right. Knowing is doing what we're doing in Central Indiana, and I honestly don't think anywhere in the world there is a podcast that's doing what we're doing, trying to revolutionize the sports world one podcast at a time. Thanks so much to Grant, and thank you for listening. Please do us a favor and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is out here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day by sharing this podcast with a college football fan in your life. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.